Okay, so this is the hibiscus flower that I'm currently working on for a tutorial on Patreon. And then I am also painting a few shorter versions of tutorials because it is watercolor month. Excuse the dishes that are being packed in the dishwasher. My daughter is making us lunch. I'm using this paper for this beautiful hibiscus flower, but for today, I'm going to use this brand of watercolor paper, which I found at that art store that I visited recently. This is Bockingford watercolor paper. It's 300 grams. It is a rough watercolor paper, and I will also link a video to show you the difference between hot press, cold press, and a rough watercolor paper. So this is it's a block. It's completely glued, so it's amazing. So I'm going to use this size. I would say it's about 8 centimeters, maybe less, but round about. Use a book. I actually decided I was going to cut it, and then I decided, you know what, I'm going to paint quite a few little bookmarks. So let's leave it. It is easier to paint on a block of watercolor paper for me than cutting it. Well, cutting will also be fine, but I think for this, because it's already on a block and glued on all four sides, it will be easier to paint. So I'm not going to waste that glue block watercolor paper that it is. I'm just going to use it this way. And this is some washi tape that I love. The only problem is that I'm battling to get it to tear all equally. There you go. So I'm going to cut that other little part off that's at the top, and then I'm just going to push it down. Now I do have a video about watercolors. It is a winter year. I had to wash my hands, and I don't paint with cream on my hands. So at this time of the year, my hands are quite dry, and especially if I work in the garden. But anyway, so just make sure that you clean your hands, because if you have cream on your hands or any oil on your hand, your watercolors won't stick. So this is the book that I recently ordered from a bookstore, and they delivered it to me. I was so surprised when I saw that, because normally, it's quite hard to find supplies that you see other watercolor artists show online. And you're not sure that you're going to get it here in South Africa, but I was so happy when I found this book with all of the little flowers in. And so the watercolors I'm going to paint now will be either from my garden, or that I see on walks, photos that I take myself, or it will be from this little booklet, but just easy little. I'll also be shells, because I've painted sea urchin bookmark as well, but we're just painting short easy tutorials for my beginners. But this is a little book that you can buy, and a lot of artists are using these. You don't have to, because you can find many photos in your camera roll, or you can find it while walking, or at the or you can find it at the nursery, or if you go on walks with your little beautiful doggy, or if you just have a friend that's got a beautiful rose garden, Tyson, you can ask them to send you some photos, or you can go visit them, have a cup of tea, and just take some photos of all of their beautiful flowers. So I normally this is the first time I'm using this book, because I ordered it a while ago, but it has been busy and I haven't had time to look at this and paint some of these flowers. So this little flower that I'm going to paint is this this little snowflake flowers that I'm going to use for a little bookmark. And I just used a few little, and I just drew my own version of it. But yes, if you have any flowers, you can use any flowers to paint your little bookmarks. I'm going to show you how easy it is. The paper that I use is a Bockingford brand that I found at this little art shop that I visited, that my daughter came with. I will show you a video of that as well. We're busy editing it. We have a lot of videos that we have to edit. And then yes, I have a little person here, or a little furry baby here, that wants to go for a walk. Yes, I'm gonna take you for a walk, Nana. All right, my darling. let me know if you want a line drawing. I can absolutely do that for you. And then for my patrons, I am busy adding all of my line drawings in one booklet so that you have it all together. But you can also find them on under the collections tab on Patreon. Patreon is a free app and you can join for free and follow along. Some of the videos there are free. There are loads of watercolor teachers there, acrylic. There's just so many creators on there as well, and it is a lovely platform. So this is watercolor month, and I decided to paint a few little easy tutorials for beginners. Also for my YouTube channel, because I haven't posted anything recently on YouTube. I think I find on YouTube it's just quiet for me. I am not monetized. I don't get paid to post my videos on YouTube. So I only get paid on Patreon if you join as a student. So when I post something on YouTube, it is just for your enjoyment because it takes such a long time to edit the videos, and I also create videos for my Patreon. And some of them are very long tutorials, some of them are literally 7 parts, which take me roughly about 14 days. That is including everything else that I have to do because of my work. I still have to work and everything. So this was just a rough little sketch, and I'm going to use my green from my Mission Magello watercolors, which is a lovely brand of watercolors that I use. And then I have my nickel azure yellow from Core Watercolors that I have on that tiny little plate there. Now these little plates are very lovely to use. I already have some green mixed on this tiny little plate, and then I just pick up some more of my ultramarine and I just drop it on that little corner there. Now you don't have to have a lot of paint to paint in watercolors. Also, this is quite a rough paper, and I use a small little brush, which is round about a number 4 or 5 brush, tiny brush, and it is a synthetic brush. And what I do is I just go down the center there with the brush to paint the stem. And I want to keep it quite easy. So I'm not going to go in and paint a lot of detail like I normally do with some of my flowers. Like this one that I painted, it's prettier. So I am going to just do a quick, easy tutorial. We mainly focus on beginners, yeah, because it is World Watercolor Month. So this is the green. I take some of my nickel as a yellow, some ultramarine, that is a beautiful green, but you can use some sub green. And I'm just going down the center there on the stem to create the stem. And then I will go in and drop in a little bit more pigment. Hello, Charlotte girl. So what we're going to do now is I'm also going to take a drop of my Payne's Grey mix. Now I also have a video on my swatches part on Patreon so that I can show you exactly all of the color swatches or some of the color swatches that I've painted and created with watercolors. If you don't have Payne's Grey, you can always use a drop of sepia and just use some ultramarine to mix it in there, and it will create a beautiful, very similar color to Payne's Grey. So mixing a drop of that Payne's Grey on my palette, this is another little clean palette that I have there. I'm picking up a drop of that nickel azure yellow with a green, and this is how little of that color I want on this palette. It's very diluted. So again, I use my brush and I just go in on the sides there. Obviously the paper is white, so I need to use a color to create an image on the paper. So I'm going to use this beautiful color, which is very delicate. I'm not going to go in with too much color, very watery, and just drop it in on these little white little bells that I can see. Take it right around the center, cover the whole little flower. It's very easy. And then on this side as well. Just cover that with your brush. So what you do if you're new to watercolors, you use a drop of your watercolor paint that's either in a tube, a pan, or on your palette. You drop it on a tiny little plate, And then you have to have water and a brush, and I always have tissue paper handy with me right next to me so I can dab my brush on them. So you have to wet your watercolors. That is why it is called watercolors. So I just use my water that I have in a glass, and then I just dip my brush in there, and then I pick up some of the pigment. So I now went on and use a much smaller little brush to go into these tiny little delicate little stems right here, and I'm just going to drop it in on this little stem and then just go in there with some of the green. Now I will go in later and make it a bit darker, but for now I'm just dropping in the color like this. I'm also going to just have a little stem going up there that I can see just for interest, just to create that beautiful detail. Now, these colors that I use are transparent, sorry, semi-transparent to transparent watercolors. I love using it because I do like to use the colors that sometimes I like to see the colors that shine through the bottom layers that are already painted. So go and have a look at my other YouTube videos that I have, and also some of my amazing collection of tutorials that I have on Patreon if you want to learn how to paint in watercolor. So in this little section, I'm going in with a bit more of a darker green, and then I'm just dropping it in there around this little stem as well, just some more detail, and then I'm going to darken this little part as well. Now, when you need to watercolors, your watercolors might dry much lighter than what you wanted. You can always go back later and just drop in some more color like I do right now. So when it's a bit too light, I just go in and drop in some more colors. I would like to create a bit more videos for YouTube, but I don't know what everyone like to see. I've posted quite a few videos and some only have like 23 views on them. So I think I'm doing something wrong. It's not what everyone like and want to see. But and like I say, it takes quite some time to create these little videos. But let's see, I will give it a go and see how it goes again, and then post a few little videos there for beginners as well. But if you like these quick, easy tutorials that I paint, please give it a like and maybe a comment. Tell me where you are, what type of watercolors do you like, what type of paintings you like, just so that we can see, maybe we create what you like and what you like to see as paint here on my watercolor channel. And on this little section, I'm going to drop in some of the tiny little green spots on each little tip there. These really look like fairy little flowers, and I like painting them. So this is Sunday. It's a Sunday. It's relaxing. I can paint a little bit and also edit some videos because we are painting a beautiful tutorial for Patreon again. I also have a beautiful Christmas little single flower that I painted for some of my students on Patreon, and then a rose. So we have done quite a few tutorials this month for Patreon. And then I decided, you know what, it's also very fun to create these fun bookmarks for some of my students. And so I have quite a lot of ideas for my students, but I would love for you to join me on Patreon as well. Because what happens is if I post a video on Patreon as a public tutorial, there's not a lot of ads on there. I don't think there is because I am a creator on Patreon, so I'm not sure if there is. So let me know because, like I say, I noticed that people are complaining about the adverts on YouTube, and I'm not sure why there are so many adverts all of the time because I don't get paid by YouTube to create the videos. Um, I'm not monetized. So I do this all for my students and for my community of my followers. So there are quite a lot of ads, and I do apologize for that. It's nothing that I do, it's nothing that I um, create, it's not me. So I just wanted to put it out there because I know that there is a lot of complaints about the adverts, it's not me. Anyway, so I'm going back to just I drew in another little flower, and just to give it a little bit more interest. Sorry, I bumped the camera. And then I'm going to just paint a quick little flower in there as well. And I'm going to leave it to dry. Then I'm going to go in on these little parts again and just look at my painting and see where I maybe want to darken other little parts of my flower or even on my stem, just to create a little bit more interest. And if you think about it, it was a flat piece of paper, a flat piece of white paper. There was nothing on there. And we created a tiny little cute little flower. So this is my absolute favorite eraser. I'm not sponsored by this. I just want to tell you that these little erasers, the mono erasers and these patty erasers, are amazing for watercolors. So I make sure that my painting is completely dry before I use my patty eraser, just to get rid of the pencil little markings. And then I will go in and write a little note on the bookmark, and I will give it to someone as a card or as a little gift. And these little things are so nice to create for someone that you maybe want to give a card to, or where you want to perhaps give them something, especially if they read books. Even as Mother's Day, Christmas gifts, even as a birthday gift, even just as a quick tea visit to go and have tea with friends. These little bookmarks are very nice and so cute to make and so easy to make. So I hope you will do that and create your own little bookmarks, because painting is relaxing and it's fun. So I hope you're going to get your paint out, your watercolor brushes, some water, and your watercolor paper, and just paint. You don't have to use expensive watercolor papers for this. You can use or paper for this, but you can just enjoy the process. So you can use mixed media watercolor paper. It will be perfect for this because we're not painting a lot of detail. But this is also a lovely paper that I will add to my favorite supplies because it's quite a rough watercolor paper. But I also will post a video for you um, for YouTube where I will show you exactly what the difference in paper is, and also what I have available on Patreon for you if you would like to learn how to maybe paint more in-depth tutorials. I have loads of tutorials on there. But if you enjoy this painting, please give it a like, give it a comment, share it with a friend, and tell me what you would like to paint again. Thank you for watching.